Hello. How's everybody doing out there? Are we unmuted now? This means yes. This means no. All right. Well, let me begin that again and just say the Erskin Music Show has begun. We are excited to be here. We're live here in Nashville, Tennessee. And man, we got a special guest coming on. It's Lydia Walker. She's super engaging, and she's gonna warm us up here in just a little bit. But for those of you who are joining here, all the comments that I made before as we began the show are still in effect, except you don't know what they are or what they were. Essentially, it was this. We got a great show planned today. It's cold outside. It's warm in here. Your comments are always welcome and appreciated. The snarkier, the better. And you guys are usually able to fulfill that. Now, if any of you guys saw me at the beginning of the show doing all of this stuff and getting the show started like that, it was essentially that we have some people who like to comment on my edge up, the effectiveness of my edge up. Since I do that myself, sometimes it's a little bit off center. On the side profile, I know some of you guys were commenting I kind of look like Tony Hawk up in this thing from time to time. And so, yeah, I just want to make sure that you guys are okay with the edge up here, because I can't be looking like Batman up on this thing and then you guys making jokes about that. So we're about to get it started. Let's get the devotion of the day, because I want to get out of the way. I want to get Lydia on as quickly as possible, but I don't want to run past this devotion today. It's faith in action. It comes from Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1 and 2. And let's put 3 up in this thing. Now, faith is the confidence and the hope for an assurance about what we do not see. This is what the ancients were commended. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen is not made out of what was visible. By faith, Abel brought God a better offering than Cain did. By faith, he was commended as righteous when God spoke well of his offering. And by faith, Abel still speaks, even though he is dead. The issue at hand today is our faith. And a faith that is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, as the translation that I learned. And what would we say about our faith these days? It has been tested on so many fronts these days. I got a cool message yesterday that was encouraging me to watch a podcast on progressive Christianity. And, obviously that's a term that we could throw out there and say, well, what is progressive Christianity? It is taking, social issues and taking some of the things that are going on in our world and highlighting those as representing the gospel. And so the social gospel, the progressive gospel, the atheistic gospel, if you will, or the gospel that is all embracing of just every philosophy and every type of human device that we have going on these days, is a gospel that is out there these days. It is Christianity that can embrace the LGBTQR, I don't even know what the acronyms are now, a lifestyle, and can say that that's still thoroughly Christian. Well, you guys know in the Erskin Music Show, I love to represent what is biblical Christianity. We got into that yesterday. And the substance comes down to faith. The substance of our faith is Christ Jesus. And so if you're out there today and you're listening, or you come across this a little bit later, like I said, my folks in Beijing who are watching this at 2:00 in the morning, folks in other parts of the world that you might be listening to this, if your faith is founded on anything else than Jesus Christ, then it cannot stand. And when we stand before God, what will we say? Christ and Jesus has paid it all so that we might have a relationship with God. And so, looking to the author and perfecter of our faith, who is Christ, I want to encourage you guys today, no matter what anybody says around you, and no matter what the internal struggles and battles are of your life, solidify yourself in what God has said. It's one thing when we get into discussions with people and they say, well, I believe this or I believe that. And, certainly we're all entitled to our opinions, but not every opinion is equal. The most unequal opinion, or the most valid opinion, I should say, is God's view. And God says, and it is. God speaks, and it is. And so in Hebrews chapter 11, we're pointing again to that. And I wanted to encourage you guys in all of that. We got the Erskin Music Show is going to keep rolling today, because I've got a special guest who is coming in the studio. I'm going to get some banners up here because we want to welcome my friend Lydia here. Let's see, what do we put up here? We'll put our rustic songbird as she comes on the show.
Hey, what is up, everybody? I'm so excited to be here.
Welcome. I think pleasure to have you. Oh, there you go. You popped on the screen now.
I'm here. I'm ready.
So it's great to have you here today.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me back on the show. You're starting the Erskin Music Show again, and I'm stoked. I watched yesterday's episode, and just really proud of you for doing this, and always love talking to you. So this is going to be fun.
Yeah, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure because I've got sound coming from everywhere here today. The sound is jumping around on me. Well, Rebecca, I'm going to say hello to you as well. There's some folks that are viewing today. Rebecca, wonderful artist, and hopefully we'll get a chance, maybe at some point, to get Rebecca on the show. But one of the things that you do is you help artists.
I do.
And so this is going to be really informative. I told Rebecca that she needs to meet you and that she needs to know you. And as we were talking last week, I said, hey, there's somebody that you need to know that would help further your career and further what it is you're doing. But before I get into any of that, I want to go back for just a second so that I can come forward. And I want to go back to yesterday where I was talking about pro-life. And I was saying, let me articulate a very clear perspective on this. Ourselves, we're a foster family, and we do that in response, not to be judgmental against people who get abortions, but to just say, obviously, that is murder. But at the same time, for those who are choosing life, there's options that are available, foster families that are out there. You, my friend, are just a bastion of wisdom related to the music industry. But before any of that, you are a mom that is dedicated to your family, and it is God first, family, and then your career comes in. But you're so prolific in your career, I'm sure there's people who would just skip ahead of all of those things and say, hey, how are you so productive at things? But talk to us about that center and that balance that you have as a mom. And we're going to get into a special song that we did together.
Yes, I'm so excited to talk about that. And I love being a mom. I love our little family, and I can tell you a little bit about them. Yeah, music is a byproduct of what I'm doing. Music has always been inspired by my faith, first of all, before I was ever married, before I was a mom. Music was just an expression of what the Lord was teaching me and what I was learning and what I wanted to share with people. And God would inspire me to write these songs that, no one else was singing. And so I felt that call to share the message through music. And I think it's such a powerful way to communicate with people and to be a witness to the world of the hope that we have in Christ. And so that comes first. But I have been married for 5 years now to my husband, David. We have 2 little kiddos, Adeline, who's almost 4, and Logan, who is 2. And I have loved that whole process of being pregnant and having these babies, raising toddlers. And listen, there are hard days, and I'm not going to brush over that, but I don't see how anybody goes through life or goes through being a parent without just trusting in God, because that has been the most sanctifying process, and it's still happening. I mean, they're just toddlers. I hear they turn into teenagers, and I'm not ready for that. But even in the toddler stage, I'm learning so much about God as our Father and how patient He is with His children and how He has so much better plans for us. And when we whine and complain and we want things now, He says, just wait, I've got something better for you. And so He's teaching me things like that. And then I'm like, that sounds like a great song. Let's write it. And then we put it out there and it connects with people. And so it's like everything's connected, but it all comes back to that center of faith in Christ, trusting in Him every single day, and knowing that He's ultimately the one that's in control. I think you're muted again. I can't hear you. Now I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Sorry about that. I wasn't sure
Okay.
if it was on my end or yours, but I didn't hear the last question.
Yeah, I'm fiddling with things. and you probably could say, Erskin, stop fiddling with things over here. But you sharing about your family and your life there. What are some creative projects that you're working on, and some things that are exciting you right now?
Yeah, I've got some things going on behind the scenes for sure. Lots of things in the works, and it's a time of like transition and change and just like reevaluating. I feel like the month of January was just like reevaluating everything in my life and just saying, how busy do I want to be, and what things do I want to continue through this year, and what things need to change, and what do I need to let go of? Because, you can't move forward and do some things without letting go of some good things. And so I'm kind of in the middle of that, and it's a weird feeling because I'm trusting the Lord, but I also like feel that human nature of like being comfortable in things, even that are good things. But when the Lord says it's time to change, then I want to follow where he's leading me. So some big things are in the works that haven't even happened yet. And I feel like a year from now, people are going to be like, where did she come from? And it's because of what I'm doing right now. So really excited about things coming together music wise and putting good things out there. And so excited for what the Lord's doing and teaching me.
Wonderful. Well, we wrote a song called Mom's Life together a few years ago. And I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and let you talk a little bit about the song.
Okay.
We'll play the song, and you can talk about the impact of the song and what that's done since we wrote it and since you put it out and what it's done. So just give us a quick intro about the song and what this is trying to portray.
Yeah, so I've talked about writing a rap song with Erskin for years, and we even joked about it. It was just like, hey, we should write a rap song. Yeah. And then 2 years ago, we hosted a songwriter retreat together, and we had a breakout session where we were in the same co-writing group. And Erskin said, hey, Lydia, when are we going to write that rap song? And I said, right now, let's do it. And we were in the room with our mutual friend, April Dawn, and we wrote this song called #MomLife. And we were writing it out on this whiteboard and just couldn't write fast enough. All this stuff about being a parent and like just the real life stuff. And so this song is so relatable to moms out there that are, raising these kiddos, trying to do their best. And they know that it's hard, but they want to do their best. And so that's what this song is about. I wrote it with Erskin. He played the guitar part. It sounds super groovy. It's really fun. Our friend Steven produced it for us and did an awesome job. And I love how it turned out. So let's listen to the song, and then I'll tell you what happened with it recently.
And then April Pinzer. We got to give a shout out to April Pinzer. She was a co-writer on the song as well. Right? Oh, am I still muted?
No, I can hear you. Are we going to play the song next?
April Pinzer.
Oh, April.
Yeah. So here we go. Mom's Life.
Mom Life.
Check it out.
Whoop.
Mama, 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 I hear this on repeat. Mama, 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 mama. Mama, I'm hungry. Mama, I'm tired. Mama, I need you. 24/7, 365. Mom life is constant, keeping kids alive. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes there's tough love. Sometimes you feel you're not good enough. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes there's tough love. You gotta get your strength from above. Mom life. #Mom life. Look it up. Mom life. Keep looking up. Mama, 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 I hear this on repeat. Mama, 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 mama. Who needs an alarm clock when you've got kids? They're waking you up, trying to get in your bed. You're wiping their tears, calming their fears, whispering gently, Jesus is near. So don't you forget that when you're discouraged, you gotta get your strength from above. Mom life. #Mom like Nancy Drew, always prepared. Don't worry about it, I got you. Mom's intuition, like X-ray vision. Already know where you're gonna go and what you're about to get into. Mom life, hashtag mom life. Look it up, mom life. Keep looking up, looking up. Mama, 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 mama. I hear this on repeat every day. Mama, 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 mama. Mama, 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 mama. Look it up, keep looking up. Mama, 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 mama. 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 Mom life, that's mom life. Mom life, keep looking up. Oh, keep looking up. You gotta get your strength from above. Mom life, keep looking up.
All right. That was Mom Life.
Yes.
Mom
Woo! I was dancing. Had a dance party to our song today. That was so fun.
I know, I saw that. We were
I was
So
rocking. I don't know if
sweet,
you guys could see it, but I was singing along every word. It was like a music video. I was just hearing the song and just dancing. Yeah, it was great.
I couldn't see it. You were over there doing flips, and I'm sitting over here dancing as well. And so,
Yeah,
everybody
man.
out there, if that's your first time that you go ahead and get that, so you can have your own little dance party.
Have
So
your
tell
own
us a
dance
little-
party.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what has happened since you've released that song, and the feedback that you're getting from that song, and where this song has gone. What happened? You just
Yeah,
started
there's-
rapping like a ninja, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, I mean,
Stuff
who,
just started
who would have thought I'd be a rapper, right? But I rapped that bridge with conviction because it's my life. And so, so I broke into the rap scene like that with my little pop rap song about mom life. So proud of it though. And I just love how real it is. And we released the song about a year after that retreat. So sometimes it takes a while for a song to actually get out there. But when we released it, I tried to set up this Facebook group challenge. And let me tell you, like, this thing flopped. I put this thing together and I was like, hey, this is going to be great. I have this vision for moms to like make a video dancing with their kids or like singing along to the song. And 0 people did that challenge. And I was like, well, this song is great. I know it's going to connect with a lot of people. Maybe people are just too self-conscious to make videos of themselves. I don't know. But for some reason, that did not work at all. But after that, like a few months later, Instagram Reels came out, okay? And moms on Instagram started typing in mom life into the song list, and our song showed up. And so all of a sudden, these videos start popping up. And I had no idea until there were over 100 videos of moms dancing with their kids and singing along to this song and using our song. And I found it one day after I used it in an Instagram reel. I just click on the song and it shows you all the videos that have used that. And I was so shocked and I was like in tears, just so happy that it was doing what we meant for it to do, but it was not in the way that I thought it was going to happen. It was nothing that I did because these hundreds of moms didn't know me as an artist. They didn't know anything about my music, but when they searched for mom life, they found this song that says, you've got to get your strength from above. You've got to look up and trust in God. And I'm like, wow, this message is going out to so many people. And right after that, I found out there were over 100 videos on TikTok doing the same thing. And it's just amazing. Like several of those videos have gotten over 100,000 plays. And so all of that added up, like it's just so many streams and so many views. And that song is going out to so many other moms too. And so I'm just really excited and proud for that song to go out and to know that it's doing what we meant for it to do. But in a way that was totally unexpected.
Absolutely. That's kind of how God does things. And,
yeah, it
there's
is.
a lot of surprises in the journey, and there have been. Your mom says that we need to do some more stuff together. I think I agree with your mom.
Woohoo! I love it. Mama J is in the house. I told her you need to tune in to me and Erskin today. She said, "Oh, that sounds fun."
Yeah. I didn't know if you were at Mama J's house today.
No, I'm actually not at her house. I am at my house because there's an ice storm headed our way, and so we are good. But I now have fast internet, and so through the internet, I am with you today, and I am home, which is great. So I'm excited to talk about this. And you said you wanted to talk about mom life a little bit and parenting and stuff, and just like your perspective on that, because the family unit is so important. And you were talking about like biblical Christianity earlier. So like we can go deep on this if you want, because I am so passionate about being a mom who, you know, raises my kids to love Jesus and to know that they're loved and to be a good like a good witness to the world and be good humans. And so, yeah, I'm really into that. And you are too. I mean, with your family, and you're raising them so well. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's go ahead and dig in there. I put a little cry sound in there for you, just because that's kind of seems more appropriate today. But I just want to go ahead and simply say that I think the screen is frozen there. I'm not sure internet is over there. But here's the deal. I want to go maybe a little bit longer since we got a guest today, Lydia, and she does such a tremendous job of balancing the whole perspective. And for those of you who are watching out there and you're thinking, man, and I've got, you know, some friends breakpoint now where they're starting to have kids and they're like, hey, I don't know if I can balance the two of those. This would actually make sense, actually work. Maybe it can encourage you in the direction of maybe some things that Lydia is going to say here in this next place about how that balance takes place and about how you prioritize the spiritual aspect of your life and begin to see God use those things. I've literally been in places before where Lydia is carrying her kids with her and her kids and her family are with her, but she doesn't stop doing the artist thing. And so Lydia, why don't you dive in and just give us some wisdom with regards to how we can go about thinking about giving us a biblical mindset, maybe even a perspective on how we can balance out our life, our career, the gifts that God has given us, be good stewards of those things, and then be able to share those with people that we come in contact with.
Yes, such a good question, such a good goal. And first off, I am not an expert at this. I do not have it all together. And literally the Lord, the Lord will test me and give me opportunities to grow in this. And I think that's what kind of humbles me to talk about this, because I am so passionate about it, because I am in it. I'm in the thick of it, raising toddlers and cleaning up messes. And sometimes it feels like, you know, I am just going to be cleaning for the rest of my life. And I'm like, really? Is this all there is? But then the Lord reminds me that, no, you're raising these kiddos and you're cleaning up their messes, but they're going to know that they're loved and that Jesus loves them, and they're going to be awesome adults and have amazing lives. And so I have to remind myself of the grand scheme of things and the big picture, and know that, the little things that we do every day that just seem so mundane and so messy, so messy. Those things, are just part of the process. And so, when I have a bad day like that, I just know that I don't need to make any big decisions. Like, don't give up on everything when you're just tired and you're stressed out and there's just, Cheerios everywhere. You like, don't give up on those days. That's when I call my mom, or I call my mother-in-law, or I call my best friend, and I'm like, let's talk about this. And they laugh with me and calm down. And sometimes they'll bring me Chick-fil-A, and it's great. So, having that support system is really important. Having some other moms in my life is really helpful, because we can call each other and tell each other about mom stuff, and there's no judgment, because we're like, I get it. I understand, and so I think that's really important, to keep that perspective, but also know, like, every day is not going to be the same. Every week's not going to be the same. So sometimes you'll feel like super mom and you've cleaned your house by 8 a.m. and you're like, all right, let's change the world today. And then other days you're going to be like, did I have breakfast or lunch? I don't know. What day is it? And so that's just real life. And I've gotten to the point of just like growing in my prayer life because of the desperation of motherhood. And so it's not that I like sit quietly and read my Bible and drink my coffee, because that's not realistic for me. I hardly ever sit down. Like, it's weird that I'm sitting down right now, because I'm usually like up with the kids and running around, and I don't even know how, but yeah, but it's definitely when I'm bouncing babies and washing dishes and trying to do laundry, and like somebody texts me and says, "Is it a good time for a phone call?" And I'm like, well, it's not ever really a good time for a phone call, because you never know when a baby's going to be crying or something. And so I have short prayers sometimes, but you know how like sometimes my prayers are, Lord, help me. And the other day, my sweet little Adeline was walking around playing with her dolls or something, and she said, Lord, help me. And so I was like, at least she's hearing me pray and not hearing me say something that she should not be saying. And so like sometimes my prayers are simple like that. And then other times, it's kind of like that in and out constant prayer thing with God. Like when I'm thinking about something, I'll pray about it. When I'm worried about something, I'll pray about it. And so that's what it's becoming, is just like, it's not this big fancy prayer with all these, really immaculate wording. No, sometimes it's just, Lord, help me, and Jesus, take the wheel. And sometimes that's just all that comes out. And so I just want to encourage people that are out there, if they are parents, that they're doing a good job. And if they're worried about being a good parent, like that's a sign that you are, because you care. And that you're going to care about your kids more than anybody else. You're going to love them like no one else. And so you just have to trust God for your strength. And sometimes you can take a break. Okay. So sometimes you can go for a walk. You can cool down. You can, go take a shower by yourself. I'm speaking to moms right here. Like, it is important to have time alone with the Lord, whatever that looks like. It might be 30 seconds. It might be 5 minutes. That's awesome. But that time is so important. And we just can't trust in our own strength. We have to trust in the Lord, and we can't trust in our own understanding too. We have to ask Him for the wisdom and the strength to keep going every day.
Well, you're such an encouragement to so many people. And I'll tell a little bit of story. This is what Rebecca says today. You can read there. But we've literally conferences before where, and we do a writer's retreat. We'll probably talk about that a little bit before we get off here. We do collaborative works together. In fact, one of the most creative people that I've ever met, probably in my life, in terms of how you're able to get things done. And one of the stories that I can tell about you is what normally happens when you're around Lydia, because Lydia always takes her family with her. And we've been up in Wisconsin at conferences together. We've done our own retreats.
We're a package
together.
deal.
But you get to know her kids, and you get to know her family. And so in these little 30-second respites or a minute here or there, you get a chance to interact with her kids. You get a chance to interact with her family. David, he's phenomenal.
Yes.
And you really get a chance to see that it's kind of a community. Lydia brings with her a tribe. Like, she's an incredible superwoman herself, but you will get to know her so well and know her family because they're just a part of everything that she does. I think this is the longest that I think we were together where there's not, kids or Cheerios or things going on around us or questions about things. And you just, since I'm around kids a lot and we love kids and we foster and we do that sort of thing, I'm used to kids. But I guess maybe initially that can be jarring to people if they're like, hey, I just need isolation and like no distractions. Like, we figured out ways to work within the margins and just still got to plan this event. And I guess you're the driving force on that, because you can hone in on a target and you can still get us there with 1,000 different distractions there. But it's just been so great getting to know not just you, but also your family and your love for your family and your love for your husband. And it's just a great biblical and encouraging picture.
Yeah, that has to be in place. Like, that support. My husband is so supportive of my music, and also just with our kids and helping with them when I go to sing somewhere, or if I need to work on recording something, he's great to watch them and help. And so I could not do it without my support team. They're amazing. And also I've learned so much about like essentialism, and there's a book called The One Thing that was really helpful for me, perspective-wise, asking what is the one thing that I can do to move things forward? Like, what is the one thing that needs to be done first for everything else to work. And so I think that's what you were talking about, like prioritizing and figuring out how to best use your time, because you can't do everything. And when I try to do everything, I get worn out. I get tired, and things don't go well. It's like, if I'm going to do something well, I need to do one thing at a time. And so, I mean, I've heard my mom say, like, it's spinning plates. You like start something, then start something else, and start something else, and start something else. And you come back around and, you got the laundry going and the dishes and you got the kids taken care of, and then do something else. And then sometimes you just need to take a nap, And so that is part of productivity, is to find time to rest. And I am really determined to do more of that this year.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm trying to grow in my understanding of, is these rhythms of rest, because I'm a little bit like you. I get up very early in the morning and I'm just awake. Like, I wish I could sleep more, but my mind starts going in like the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And I'm so thankful for Kelly, who helps me out with these different things. Every once in a while, she'll come in, she'll say, "Have you eaten?" I'm like, "Oh, I wouldn't have even today." I'm just doing work. Like, that's not something that comes to the top of my mind. I just do stuff. And so it's great to have that team around you. It's great to have those rhythms, starting to try to focus now more on those rhythms of rest, so that there's not burnout, so that there's not, the sense of fatigue that then leads you off in some weird direction. But God himself, again, giving us the Sabbath, has given us some instructions about rhythms of rest in our lives. And that's important to find as well. Now, before I let you go here, let's talk a little bit about what you're doing now. I think you're with a record label now, or you've got so many different projects that are going on. Tell us a little bit about what life looks like now these days.
Yeah, it looks different. And if we think about the past year, what's different in 2021 is us. We're different. Okay. And so I think so many things have just been, reevaluated. Like we talked about, what am I doing? Is everything I'm doing, going to be moving things forward? Am I, what do I want things to look like moving forward? And so I think that's really woken people up to the idea of, not just doing things because you've always done it, not do things because they're comfortable, but, what is it that we want the world to look like moving forward, and how can we be a part of that? And so, yeah, things have changed for me from a year ago. I would have had no idea that I'd be at this point. And I still feel like I'm in transition, like learning things and trying things and doing things. But yeah, right now I'm working with a new country music record label with their marketing. And that's been really fun to help them get set up and promoting musicians. And I also have a podcast called Rustic Songbird Podcast, and the link is right there, rusticsongbird.com. And I had Bill Zafelt on the show this week, and I met him through Erskin. It was really cool to have him on the show.
He's a friend of the show.
And that podcast is all about helping musicians releasing their music. So having resources for songwriting, recording, releasing their music, promoting their music. So if you're an artist, if you're a songwriter, then go check out the Rustic Songbird podcast. We have almost 100 episodes, and it's been so fun to have conversations with people in the music industry and share what I'm learning. I've also got a new endeavor since even just a few months ago. I mean, from talking with people that have been doing sync licensing and pitching their music to movies and TV and commercials. I just wasn't in that world at all until recently. I started writing indie pop songs with our mutual friend, Julie Keltonic. And so that has been really fun. We are writing songs specifically to pitch for commercials. And that has been a fun little side thing. Like, we do co-writes over FaceTime while we're bouncing our babies. And then we go into the studio and record it. We've been recording with Evan Sealing, and he is awesome. And we're pitching those through Taxi Music and a few other sync licensing places. And so I really think in a few months or a year, we're going to have some of these songs in commercials, and so excited to learn about that, because I see the big picture of teaching other musicians how to do that as well. Like, anything I'm learning, I try to pass it on and help others. I'm also worship leading at church and really love doing that. And so I've got a lot of different kind of music things going on, but it's all good stuff. I'm just so thankful for the opportunities, for things that are developing now that I would have had no idea about even a few months ago or a year ago. But the Lord is so good, opening doors for things. And I'm just learning a new level of trusting God to be in his timing and not in my timing.
Sure. Well, Mama J is on here, and she wants. I don't know what that's all about.
She was probably hearing me talk about calling my mom, because I do call her a lot. She helps me. We talk through things.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted her to know that, you're a little bit busy these days, and I'm a little bit busy as well. And so it's not as easy for us to get together, but we still try to make time to do that. So we will dynamic duo this thing. Talk a little bit about our songwriters retreat, and for those that might be interested in that sort of thing, what they could look forward to. I don't have my calendar with me, but we have it in May this year.
Yeah, we are setting up a songwriter retreat in May in the Clarksville area, and it was so fun to do this a couple years ago. That's when we wrote the Mom Life song, coming back around to that fun co-write that we did. And so kind of the structure of the songwriting retreat is to encourage other songwriters and then have a specific time blocked off to do co-writes together. Maybe have 3 or 4 writers in a room and do several co-writing sessions. But I think having that time just out of our normal routine and away from things helps you get to a different place creatively. And also being in the room with different writers, you have different styles represented and different gifts. Like some people are great with lyrics, some people are great with melodies, some people are great with the production and track and getting the music produced. And so it's really cool to see everyone's gifts flowing and working together, and it creates songs that would not have been like that if it was just one writer doing it all. And so it's really, really special. I love the community aspect of it, meeting other co-writers, collaborating together, and you just never know where a song is going to go. Like that song that we wrote together for Mom Life. I had never done a rap song before, but it was perfect for that topic. And, songs about motherhood, just feel it so strong. And I'm so excited to have that out there. So I believe that songs we're going to write at the next retreat are going to be on artist albums and going to be out there on the radio and online and going to encourage so many people. So I would encourage any writers that are listening to get into community with other writers and to do co-writes and to learn from each other, collaborate, because beautiful things come from that. If you want to go to rusticsongbird.com, you can join the email list, and I'll send out an email when we've got signups open for the next retreat.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lydia. We are going to solidify, I guess, some more details about the song retreat, and we'll get that information out for people to join in. Hopefully, like last year, we had to do it kind of a virtual conference, and that was okay. It was good. We still got some good collaborative effort in that, but hopefully this year we'll be able to meet in person and just take advantage of each other's presence and sort of that.
So much better that way.
Yeah. I do some Skype writing. I've done some of that this week, and then also some in-person writing. But there's, and you can accomplish some things both ways. We don't want to discourage anybody.
Absolutely.
That's what you got to do. But at the same time, there's nothing like being in the room and being in a retreat, being in a place with artists who are around, and you're able to share your gifts and you're able to share your contributions and just create something that has not formally existed.
Yeah, exciting.
3 years song only love that. 2 years ago, Mom's Life came out of that. And so these are things that are literally impacting people's lives. We pray and we hope for eternity. But nonetheless, it all begins with the song, kind of from the Bluebird a little bit. Well, thank you so much. You have been such a special guest that you're going to get the dolphin today.
I get the dolphin sound. I love your sound effects. It's so great. Oh, man. Well, thanks for having me on the show and to be able to talk about this song and what's going on. I love that we can just be real and candid. And this is just us. I love this because, I'll have a conversation with Erskin on the phone and we'll have a great conversation. But right here, we can share it with you as well. And so it's cool to be able to document that and share it with more people. Yeah, people are eavesdropping, basically. This is what our phone conversations are like.
Would be a conversation there. So thank all you guys who tuned in today. Erskin Music Show. It literally became the Lydia music show today. I don't know if you knew that you had a music show, but this is it.
I think I'm going to be doing more live streams, so watch out. I've got fast internet now, so you just never know.
There you go.
I've got videos coming out on my YouTube channel,
Watch
and
out.
watch out, world. You're breaking me in with the live here. But you just never know what's going to happen on live video. So we'll see.
Come on in the first mind.
Thank you.
You have a fantastic
You
day.
too.
God bless, and we'll talk soon. Athey. Tremendous songwriter. She gets the dolphin. Tremendous rapper. Tremendous mom. Tremendous artist. Liaison. All the different things that she does. She is incredible at those. Jennifer Walker, her mom, thank you for joining in today. Rebecca, thank you for joining in today. And others who are listening out there. If you're an artist, man, this is an episode for you, because sometimes we get stuck in the, okay, I've written a song, so now what mentality. You've written a song, and then there's a long way to go before people actually hear that song, or you get a chance to demonstrate that song to the world in any type of gainful type of situation. And so she knows the process. She's done the process for years. In fact, she's done the process so well that there's a record label that has hired her to do that, because she's so proficient at it, as well as raising a family, as well as, and at the top of that, we talked about the devotion today, faith in God, faith in Christ. That is essential in everything that she does, everything that I do, everything that we do as a part of this show and our team. And as she said before, we couldn't do this without a team. And that is probably no truer words have ever been said. Aaliyah was helping with the, branding of and banners. And so we were able to get Mom's Life on the show. And it's many people who have put together their time, energy, efforts so that this show can be what it is. And as we continue to grow, we'll be on Friday. Friday is going to be a show that, since this is the Erskin Music Show, we're going to do a lot of music on the Friday show and get some comments from you guys. So tune in tomorrow, the Erskin Music Show, and we will continue on. We've got some special guests that are coming next week. We'll do 2 guests a week for the next 2 weeks. We were able to have Lydia isolated this week as our sole guest, and you can tell by the fact that she does so many things that we only needed 1 guest. She took care of it today. But next week we'll have 2 guests on Tuesday. We've got Joe Guerra, a brother that I tour with, who's going to be coming and sharing one of his new music videos with us. It's a song that we play a lot when we're on tour. You won't want to miss that. But again, the Erskin Music Show tomorrow, by way of announcement, we will be doing some music tomorrow. And so Rock and Ron, who's normally listening to this, and a couple of you other DJs that are out there, check out the Erskin Music Show tomorrow. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for all your comments, all your care, all your concern. This has been the Erskin Music Show, the Thursday edition.